Hello, and welcome to this presentation of the IMHAI Interdisciplinary Master in Human-Animal Interactions. My name is Raoul Schwing. I've been working at the University of Veterinary Medicine in the Messerli Research Institute and as a lecturer in the IMHAI program since 2013, and I'm excited to tell you more about this innovative research masters. First and foremost, we are a part of the University of Veterinary Medicine. And so as an academic, I'd like to give you a little bit of background. The history of the University of Veterinary Medicine starts in the 18th century. It is the only veterinary university in Austria still, even though it was founded in 1765 as the Kea und Pferdekuren- und Operationsschule by Empress Maria Theresia. Here on the right, you can see a picture, or a drawing, I should say, of what it looked like in 1767. It is the third oldest veterinary school in the world and the oldest in the German-speaking world. In 1823, the university moved to Bahngasse 1030 in Vienna, and then since 1996, it's been at its current location in Floridsdorf, here. This is an aerial view of the part of Vienna where it is, and specifically, it is right there in the 21st district called Donaufeld. The area around here is green, but is not isolated, though while there are many parks and the Danube nearby that you can use to relax in between studies, there's a very good accessibility with public transport, with both trams and buses reaching the campus directly. And there's a good connection to the bike path network throughout Vienna. There's also student housing nearby if you choose that over finding your place by yourself. Vienna has been voted many times as a great place to live based on the stability, healthcare, education, culture, and environment. Specifically, it has been named the most livable city in the world for the last 3 years running. So it is a great place to both live and study. The University of Vienna itself, the University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna, is in where you can see in Vienna at number 1, but there's various other branches that belong to the University of Veterinary Medicine. There is number 2, there is the Forschungsinstitut für Wildtierkunde, and also the CLIV, the Konrad Lorenz Institute for Ethology. Then in Lower Austria, there, that's where I work. That is where I work with Kea parrots. We have a vet farm, Kremersberg, Bottenstein, where they also have cows and pigs and other ruminants. Then there is the It's not working. There we go. Then there's also the Wolf Science Center, which is at number 4. There is a bird center at number 5, a reproduction center at number 6, a department for agrarian studies at number 7, and then even in the Tyrolean province, there is an Außenstelle for ruminants. But now, to the Interdisciplinary Masters in Human-Animal Interactions. What are human-animal interactions? That's any relationship or interaction between a person and a non-human animal. These are some examples, but of course there's also pets, there's also zoos, there's also just going through nature and how we have an effect on nature itself. At the Messerli Research Institute, we look into human-animal interactions in an interdisciplinary way. Why? Because it's the only way to be able to understand human-animal interactions in its full breadth. So we combine psychology, veterinary sciences, animal behavior and cognition, animal husbandry and welfare, comparative medicine, and philosophy to get a rich picture of human-animal interactions. The Interdisciplinary Master on Human-Animal Interactions specifically is aimed to teach students to be able to describe, investigate, analyze, and shape human-animal relationships. on a scientific basis, but also ethically reflected, and in different academic and societal contexts. Should also be able to critically reflect on the changing roles of animals in society. Some basic numbers, the structure and duration of the studies. There are 4 semesters, so you can do this in short time as 2 years. You're going to collect 120 ECTS points, which is about 55 semester hours per semester. There are 20 places for students every winter semester, and it concludes with a master's thesis that is supervised by one of our researchers, and you end up with an academic title of Master of Science. As a background, you should have a bachelor's degree in a related field. Particularly interested in wildlife management, animal ethics, and animal cognition helps you to be motivated to do the studies that we offer. There are very few students comparatively to the number of lecturers and professors that we have at our institute, so you're going to be getting a lot of hands-on and direct supervision. The focus in the master's is on research and practical application, and so it is thought that it's a good thing to step into a researcher's team and participate as much as possible in the active research at our institute. We have international cohorts from all different backgrounds, but they also look at various different research topics across the different fields that I presented earlier. And you even get practice in setting up and organizing a symposium at the end of the summer semester. The master itself is competitive. It's internationally recognized an English language research-oriented program. There's basic and applied research in the academic environment being done here. So you can start with basic questions or already jump into projects that are looking at very advanced questions. The multiple disciplines give you a great breadth of options in what to study and where to go with your master's thesis. And again, due to the low number of students compared to the number of faculty, there's a lot of personal attention you'll be getting in this program. And last but not least, it is a research master, not a taught master. Now, what does that mean? Well, that means that if we look at this overview of the 4 semesters, then you have courses in your first semester and also some in your second semester. But this is already research. Already in your second semester, you're going to be joining researchers to hash out plans on how to continue your own personalized research in the 3rd semester and then following that in your master's thesis. Research options are, again, very wide. There is lab work being done. There are experimental settings with animals in lab conditions, but there's also fieldwork opportunities. These are just some of the groups that can be joined based on the professors that are leading these research groups. There's ethics from Professor Grimm, comparative cognition with Professor Huber, welfare and husbandry with Professor Raoul, domestication with Professor Range, or comparative medicine with Professor Jensen Ravni. But we also give the option that if you want to find a specific topic that you're interested in more than what we offer already here, that we can collaborate with outside universities and institutions to find you the topic that you're most motivated to do. So definitely what we do here is based on teamwork. Going a bit more into detail, in the first semester, you're going to get the foundations of information of what you will need to build on that and do the research. One of the course blocks is Foundations in Human Perspectives, learning about One Health in a Changing World, basic concepts of immune defense in health and disease, infectious diseases, vaccines, but also the psychological fundamentals of human-animal interactions and how animals impact human well-being. You'll get foundations in animal perspectives, how animals behave, how animals feel, how animals think, but also a course specifically on the evolution, behavior, and cognition of domesticated species, that group of animals that we've had the strongest effect on. Human-animal interaction foundations and ethical and societal perspectives will give you views into how, from a philosophical perspective, all of these topics fit together and how we can look into the future to improve human-animal interactions. And last but not least, there's also interactions in practice, where you will study those practical applications of human-animal interactions and have interdisciplinary courses on these interactions. Then in the second semester, still courses, you will be taught in research methods how all of these topics are researched. There's an interdisciplinary introduction to scientific methods. There's the general methods of life sciences, including statistics, especially those that do not come from a scientific background, will be supported here in bringing you to the level where you need to be to also choose to do your master's thesis or research projects in the science. Current methods in behavioral sciences and animal welfare. How is welfare assessed? How is that applied in research? Current methods in comparative medicine, but also philosophical research methods. How do you do a literature search with a focus on a specific question in a philosophically oriented question? The research itself, again, starts in the second semester with Research Project 1, and this is just one example of a topic that a student came up with, dogs and owners' attitudes in dog parks. In Research Project 2 is when you start your first practical application of the methodology that you worked out. And here a student looked into the behavioral and endocrine responses in horses after an interaction with humans, a topic that was very dear to her heart. Other examples of Research Project 1 from the cohort from summer semester 2022 are dog and owner attitudes in dog parks, as we just saw, factors affecting learning skills and decision-making ability in Goffin's cockatoos, one of which you can see right here. Emotions and their effect on the moral status of animals. Emotionally wise chicks, the effects of age and experience on chicks and emotional response. And also social learning in my parrots, the Kea. Some of these topics were taken into the next step, Research Project 2. Here you can see pictures of students working with their animals. For example, the position of non-human animals in society and their political integration was a more philosophically, ethically oriented topic. But then we also had a comparative study on pigs' selective sensitivity to human ostensive communication, oxytocin response in horses after the affiliation interaction with owners compared to strangers that was developed from what we saw before. Foraging strategies in Kea grew from the social learning Research Project 1. Vigilance as an indicator in off-farm cattle welfare assessment. That was done with these dairy cattle at one of the vet farms. Dog-assisted pedagogy in the English language classroom. How does it positively affect learning outcomes with the students? And controls and decision-making in Goffin's cockatoos. Here you can see the student interacting with the Goffin's cockatoos subjects. But also obedience and over-imitation in dogs. And over-imitation is a really hot topic right now, which is on the forefront of cognition research in canine studies. Through the second and fourth semesters, you will have the opportunity to have electives at either the University of Vienna, the Medical University, or the BOKU. But you also have journal clubs where you will discuss existing papers and research that has just been published with a viewpoint from the lecturers that are helping you work through this amount of data and science communication. And then last but not least, you also get experience in how to set up a symposium, like a mini conference. And this happens either in the second, respectively fourth semester, because it's together the second year students and the first year students work together. The second year students will be giving talks and posters of their master's project, whereas the first year students are only required to give posters, but already gain experience in how to design these and how to present these at a small internal symposium. All the teachers and guests will act as audience, and there's even external expert for a keynote lecture. So this is a real small conference kept in a small round and amongst the people that you've learned to work with and to trust. So it's a nurturing environment, but still valuable experience for the rest of your career. The program is very much aimed also at internationality and mobility, structured according to the international standards. Again, you will be earning ECTS points. The instruction is in English, But elective courses on research projects, but even the master's thesis, can also be completed at other universities and institutions across Europe. What can you expect to gain from completing this master's? Well, you will gain a detailed knowledge and understanding of the fundamental issues of human-animal interactions. You will gain the ability to cope with different scientific practices and traditions, to conduct interdisciplinary research projects on human-animal interactions, but also the critical assessments of methods that measure attitudes, interactions, and the results in this field. You will understand the philosophical approaches to human-animal interactions and how that forms our ethical approach to these kind of interactions. But that's not all. You'll also learn, of course, personal skills, competence in knowledge transfer and effective communication, interdisciplinary, analytical, and solution-oriented ways of working that are efficient, a sense of responsibility coming from the background in ethics and philosophy applied to the research that's being done here. And hopefully an energy, enthusiasm, and a commitment to continue in the topic of human-animal interactions and to improve these. Good time management prioritization is a must also in academia and also other job prospects that you could have in the future. And the personal skills can also be listed as efficient work, robustness, knowledge transfer and communication, cooperations within the team, an awareness of their own professional competence and limits, but also moving into leadership positions because you will be doing your own research project. You will be in charge of gathering the data. And lastly, there are social skills. You will gain a respect for collegiality and equal treatment, the knowledge of national and international guidelines, standards, norms, and laws on human-animal interactions, dealing with humans and animals and nature in an ethically reflected manner. And what can you do with this, with all these skills? Well, our graduates have gone on into a great breadth of different futures. Many stay in academia and then continue with PhDs. Others go into non-university research institutions like pharmaceutical or biomedical industry. There are NGOs that are looking for people that are trained in research, but also have a background in interdisciplinary approaches to human-animal interactions. The public and private sector institutions are getting more and more interested in this topic. Ministries, authorities, commissions are all aiming more at saving the environment, ethical treatment of animals. How do we deal with these questions in our society? And last but not least, the facilities with animal husbandry are also supported by the knowledge that you can gain here. Zoos, horse stud farms. Science journalism is a bit of a step to the side, but still, with this background knowledge, you can learn how to best address these questions, how to write about them, and how to communicate them, how to bring the word out to the public and what is being done on the forefront of human-animal interaction research. That is my presentation for now. I hope I was able to excite you, to win you over for the work that we're being done here. And I would be happy and proud to see you in the winter semester joining our next cohort of interdisciplinary master's students on human-animal interactions. Thank you very much.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Schwab-Schusser. I work in the Vice-Rectorate for Study Affairs, and I will present the selection procedure for this master's program to you. The reason why we have to have a selection procedure is that there are only 20 study places available for this master's program. The selection procedure consists of different steps, and I will lead you through them all. All the information I give to you, you will find on our website. If you have questions after this presentation, if we do not answer all the things you want to know, then you can ask our chatbot, and you can write to us via email to zulassung@vetmeduni.ac.at. At the moment, we are receiving many questions, and it sometimes takes a little time to answer them all. So I have to ask for your patience, but we will try our best to really answer all the questions we receive. Yeah, the application period starts on the 3rd of March and it ends on the 19th of May. So please make sure to observe those dates. And it's an online application. You have to register and create an account at first. And in this procedure, you will receive an application number, which identifies you through the whole process. So make sure that you take it down. And when you get in contact with us, please use this application number to identify yourself. And you have to create an account, as I mentioned before. You have to choose a password. And of course, please remember this password that you can enter your account whenever you want to. What we need from you is a valid email address because we correspond with you via email. And please make sure that this email address is valid through the whole process, because at the end, when it comes to distributing the study places, you will get this information via email. So you see, a valid email address is really helpful in this process. And a telephone number is really helpful too. On this slide, you see 2 screenshots from our system. It's Vetmed Online, as I mentioned before. There will be a link on the website when the application period starts. And from this link, you come to Vetmed Online. You have to register and create an account. And when you have done that, you see it on the right side of the slide. You have the so-called business place or workplace with your name and your email address. And from that point on, you can start to make your applications. We ask for your self-responsible handling of the application, so please check independently the status of your application, the status of your payment, if there are any notifications, if there are document requests. And you see on the slide a screenshot from the system. You see that you reach your application through the application number, and through the magnifying glass feature, you come to the self-service view of your application. And this looks like that. It's self-explanatory. Green, you have done something, it's okay. Yellow means something is pending, we are examining your documents. And red means there's something missing, there's something wrong. So if you have any questions and do not know what to do, please write to Zulassung, as I mentioned before, at vetmeduni.ac.at. Yeah, in the application procedure, you have to upload certain documents. This is a structured personal statement in English, a curriculum vitae in English, proof of the required degree according to University Directive, a transcript of records with, that's important, the overall grade point average, proof of your English language skills, and a passport or identity card. And those documents have to be uploaded by no later than the 19th of May. So please make sure that you observe the date, because on the 20th of May it's too late and the application is not valid. Second important step, pay the application fee. The transfer deadlines start on the 30th of March and the deadline ends on the 26th of May. And the 26th of May is the last day of receipt, which means that the money must be received by the university by no later than that date. Sometimes from certain banks, in most cases from outside the European Union, transfer takes some time. So please make sure that you start the transfer early enough. The application fee is 60 euros. And here I have to warn you that some banks deduct charges. Excuse me. This is also true with banks from outside Europe, but with banks from Switzerland too. So make sure that your bank doesn't deduct such a charge. The bank account details you will find in the online application or in the University Directive. And please use your application number as payment reference. Your application is only valid if the fee is paid. And paid means that the amount has to be received by us in time. We have to receive the full amount. And we have to be able to link the payment to your application. Therefore, use the application number as payment reference. You will find the payment status in the self-service view of your online application. And as soon as we have linked the payment to your application, you will receive an email. Admission procedure for this master's program. You can receive 100 points at the maximum. 30 points are awarded for your previous academic success for the overall grade point average of the degree program, which is the admission requirement. A maximum of 30 points can be awarded for your personal statement and a maximum of 40 points for structured interview. The interviews will take place from the 10th to the 30th of June. And those applicants who the selection committee decides that based on its review fulfill all the necessary criteria will be invited to attend this interview. So if you're one of those applicants, you will receive an invitation. These interviews will be held online, and the invitation contains all the information which is necessary to know before the interviews, what we need from you, what you have to do, the link, and so on. And all the points, the overall result from the points form a ranking. And this ranking is, so to say, basis for admission, because the number of study places available will be offered to those applicants with the highest number of points. And if there are fewer than 20 applicants, all those applicants who fulfill the necessary criteria and have uploaded their documents will receive a study place. And all those who receive a study place will be informed via email. Admission requirements. You need a completed related bachelor's degree program at a university or a Fachhochschule with a workload of at least 180 ACTS points. Preferably in veterinary or human medicine, biology or agricultural sciences. Those are the studies that are seen as eligible for this master's program. And if you have questions regarding that, if the bachelor's program you do is eligible, then please write to us. And for admission, we need proof of your pre-study, which means proof of the completed studies, a diploma or a bachelor's certificate. We need proof of the examinations taken during the completed course of the study, the so-called transcript of records, and really important for students with their prior educational experience outside the European Union, the EEA or Switzerland. If your documents are not issued in English or German, we need a translation by a court-sworn translator, and they require legalization. And the legalization requirements you find on our website. So please, if that applies to you, go to the website and check what legalization you need. It depends on the issuing country. And since the legalization steps really take a long time, please make sure that you start them early enough. It's important because in the application procedure, we need your legalized documents till the end of the deadline, so the 19th of May. So please make sure that you observe the date. And there's a website that I can recommend to you. It's the website of Austria's Agency for Education and Internationalization. It's really helpful for students from outside Austria and the European Union. So please check there. They have helpful information. And if you have questions, contact us. Yeah. As I mentioned, if a study place is allocated to you, you will receive written notification via email. And this email contains all the things you need to know, which documents to bring, where to come to. And as I mentioned before, if an allocated study place is not taken up, we have a ranking list, and the next on the list will be informed. So if you are not among the 20 students that receive a study place at the beginning, and one of the 20 doesn't take up a study place, then maybe you can get the chance, if you're the next in list, to receive a study place. When you receive the notification, you have to book an appointment, and you have to do that in between 10 days. So the deadline is 10 days to react to this email. And important, there's no online admission possible. You have to come to campus for admission and bring your documents. Admission starts on the 20th of August. And when you're here, then the verification of your documents take place and you have to pay the tuition fee and the Students' Union membership fee. You find information on those fees on our website. Tuition fees are 363 euros for Austrian and European Union citizens and the double, so 726 euros per semester for non-European citizens. But for citizens of the European Union, for Austrians and for EEA citizens, there are exemptions from tuition fee for the standard duration of the studies and 2 extra semesters. So they don't have to pay during that time tuition fee. All students have to pay the Students' Union's membership fee that are 24.70 euros at the moment, and this includes an insurance. Important, Vetmeduni does not offer scholarships. So there are scholarships possible in Austria. You see the page to turn to and find information is grants.at. You can go there and check. Also, there's no on-campus accommodation at Vetmeduni, but there are students housing near the campus, so inform yourself if you need accommodation. And the website of Study in Austria is helpful. You find information regarding living costs and many more helpful information for students from outside Austria or Europe. So you can check that website too. I recommend that to you too. Yeah. And if you have been one of the lucky ones and received a study place and have been here for admission, then you will receive the student ID, and then we will welcome you to the University of Veterinary Medicine, Vienna. And one last information at the end. We have open house this year. So on the 26th of April, you can come to campus. Entrance is free. There will be information on all our degree programs, on the master's programs. There will be information sessions. You can have guided tours on the campus. There will be a special program for children. You can find out about the research done at the Vetmeduni and about the work our clinics do. So bring your friends, bring your family and visit us, and we will be happy to welcome you here. And now I will hand over to one of our students, to Isabel, and we will try to answer your questions you raise in the chat. So please use the chance you have, raise your questions, ask us those things you want to know. And at the moment, I thank you for your attention.
Hello, I'm Isabel Martins. I'm on the 3rd semester of the IMHAI course, finishing and going to the last semester with the thesis, and I'm here to answer some of your questions. So, how is the exam period structured? Is there 1 week per semester during which all exams take place, or are they spread throughout the semester? Well, usually they're all done in January, so most of them at least. That's when you should prepare the most, at least on the first year. What are the specific English exams that are accepted to accredit language level? I think all of them it is, but if you want to give an answer as well.
You find the information, what we accept as for the English competence, you find it on the website and in the university directive. So please look it up there. Most of the usual certificates are accepted, but there are certain points which you have to reach, and please look it up there. Thank you. Go on, Isabel.
How would a typical day during the semester be structured? Is it comparable to a FH or school, or more like a classic university? For those that doesn't know, the FH is a technical university here in Austria, and no, it's not comparable. The technical university is a little bit more busy, I would say, with more classes during the day, so much more study would be required. Here, the usual typical day during the first year is also quite busy, is also quite tight. You have lectures basically every day, sometimes the full day, but it's not comparable to the technical university. I would say it's a classic university style. Another question, bachelor as accepted also biomedicine comparative is, I don't understand your question. If you could specify a little bit more on the questionnaire there, I'll be thankful. I love dogs' behavior, cognition, and welfare, and hope to participate in Clever Dog Lab research. I am also interested in cognition, behavior, and neurobiology at another university. What are the main differences between those programs?
Yeah, maybe I can answer that. The master's you're mentioning at the University of Vienna is much more focused on the animal behavior and cognition aspect, of course, mineralogy, as the title suggests. The IMHAI program is insofar more interdisciplinary, as it also includes the comparative medicine and the ethical, philosophical aspects in view. And the Clever Dog Lab is an option to do your work, your research work, and your master's here when you work in the IMHAI program.
Do you have any suggestions on how I can better prepare for the interview?
For the interview, I think I'm not part of the committee, so to put at first. They will ask you why you want to study the master's program and on your basic academic career you have done till you make the application. So all you want to say, why you're interested in the study program, prepare yourself on the motivation letter you have to send in. So I think that would be really helpful, and then the interview will be no problem for you, I think.
I think that was the last question.
Okay. So, we are still here. Maybe you want to raise another question? Yeah. Maybe that's a question for Mr. Schwing. Do you also have any recommendations for good readings to prepare in general for our studies?
Well, it definitely doesn't hurt on reading up on the research that's actually being done here, because most of the work that you will be doing is best to build on what's already being done. So anything coming out of the Clever Dog Lab, the Kea Lab, but also the Goffins Lab, comparative medicine, whatever the particular aspect is that you would more likely be interested in when doing your master's studies here. As it's interdisciplinary, any background on human-animal interactions, be it from an ethical, philosophical perspective, of course, is helpful. Personally, I like a book called Pleasurable Kingdom that kind of bridges the animal behavior and ethical, philosophical divide, in that it presents nature and animals in it in a positive light, and animals as individuals that are looking for pleasure and satisfaction and not just fighting for their lives. But that's just a personal recommendation on my part. None of it is part of the curriculum. So but anything going in the direction of the topics that are being taught would definitely be of benefit and helpful.
We have a question here about getting in touch with some students from IMHAI course. I don't know, I think we don't have an official email with contact directly to the students, but I can put on my personal email on the comments later, and you can reach me and we can figure out a way where you can talk to my whole cohort. And I think that would be nice for you.
And you could also write to Zulassung at vetmeduni.ac.at, and we will forward your mail to Isabel and her colleagues. Yeah. Okay. If there are no more questions, we would close the chat. And as mentioned before, write to us, go to our website. You will find all the information. And yeah, wish you good luck if you want to do and raise an application.
Thank you for your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.